here at Intergeo Digital 2020. I am very happy that our CEO Florian Seibel took the time to join us here in our studio for a live interview. We call it an AMA, Ask Me Anything. So this is your chance to ask a question to Florian Seibel that you always wanted to ask him. Welcome Florian, thanks for joining.
Welcome and hi everybody out there all around the world. As Claudia was saying, unfortunately there is no real Intergeo this year, and so we took the chance, made a tremendous effort here to do all of this virtual, and Claudia, happy to answer the questions you have for me, and I think after we are done with these questions you prepared, and I consider them a little bit a starter, I'm happy to pretty much answer anything you always wanted to know from me. So,
okay, let's start right away. My first question to you is, Florian, you founded Quantum-Systems in 2015. Looking back on the past 5 years behind you, what was for you personally the most special moment?
It's a difficult question. The most special occasion or moment. I think there were a lot. In fact, it makes me really happy to see how this team grew. We started with 4 people in a basement. We started part-time. We worked on the evenings, night shifts on the weekends to work on this vision. And finally we had the feeling, okay, this could work. There is a market out there for what we are doing and what we are building. And the first VTOL was not designed to be sold. It was just pure fun, and then hiring the first my first employee was a very special moment, but moving to the next building was something very special. Then moving to this great building we are in here now, we are approaching 100 employees very soon, and just looking at this journey is something that makes me really happy. Pushing the limits of technology, forming a team, making the best VTOLs available on the market. I have so many things in my head that will come, that will make it even easier for you guys out there to fly and get the jobs done and collect great data. So it's a vision. We are on track. We on a time frame from last 5 years, I'd say I hope I have another 25 years before me to fulfill that mission, to make that dream come true. Let's see in 5 years maybe where we have come. I have a lot of ideas in my head, what we still need, make things easier, make workflows more intuitive, increase reliability, endurance, new products, new features. So it's a journey, and it has just started when I look back at the last 5 years, and there's so much more, so I always look ahead of me.
So one thing that was always marked in your calendar also in the past years was the Intergeo. You always used the Intergeo as a platform to announce new products, to announce market releases or new features or innovations. So what can our visitors expect from you this year at Intergeo? What's on the agenda?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, I love marketing, and I would, if I wasn't running the company, the whole show, I would love to run the marketing show, because I just love doing great stuff and let the world know about it. So knowing Quantum, you guys out there know when you come to Intergeo, we have something special for you. I think last year we had the robot arm that was moving the Trinity, and everybody just thought, okay, well now they have a Trinity F90 put on a robot arm. Yeah, that was one thing. We were releasing the F90 Plus last year, but the big thing actually was, and I'm not sure if everybody got this, that we have started work on an autonomous drone solution. So not this year and maybe not next year, but in a few years from now, expect to see a full service drone port solution coming from Quantum. This is our idea, this is our vision, and we are working on this. Compared to last year, the drone port is making great progress. I think it's a floor or 2 below here where we are sitting right now. So that's what I mean with the vision. Yeah, it's not so much a product this year. We're keeping track on the mission to achieve full autonomous operation with drone ports. They could be used for railroad, power line inspection things where you need fixed installed drone ports that regularly check out infrastructure or mining sites or whatever, or for border protection and so on. So that's that outlook. We have started work, and this is nothing I can release today, but definitely we have started work on a next generation Trinity, and you know us, this will take probably another 2 years to make it perfect. And so 2 years from now you will once more enjoy a revolution in VTOL. We have just started this, and for this year there are some smaller releases. I think we have the thermal capture module for Trinity to do large monitorings of solar panel farms in the US. We have a launch customer there. So we work on the thermal stuff. We have a ton of features in Cubase. We have a Trimble Business Center interface. We are working with Propeller. We started our relationship with Esri, and we will continue that relationship with Esri. So there will be a few announcements coming. A much deeper integration into the ArcGIS Esri world is coming. So pretty much that's it for this year, I would say. There's some small improvements in the Trinity coming in Q1, like a new pitot tube sensor. We're working on CAN bus servos for a full digital interface of the system. So minor improvements, but overall they make the product robust and reliable.
Okay, so you almost already answered my next question.
That's good.
Because you picked up the buzzwords that are on everybody's mind at the moment, and this is, everybody's talking about robotics, artificial intelligence, and autonomous drones. You picked those up. You talked about the robotic arm that is part of the drone port, for example. You talked about drone port as an autonomous hangar for drones as one solution. Artificial intelligence is one other buzzword. Can you explain a bit more specifically how these things bring added value to the geospatial world?
Absolutely. As you know, Quantum, we started out in agriculture. The idea or the vision when we started in 2015 was to work on agriculture, ag. And that market picked up very slowly, to be honest. And then there was a shift that went more into GIS, into mining, where we are selling very good currently. And that's a growing market. Probably at one point agriculture will pick up as well. But then Quantum made a decision that is kind of changing where we are going by putting what we do on two verticals. We have the governmental solutions from now, and we have the commercial solutions. And on the governmental vertical, we are taking the technology we develop for the commercial stuff and try to bring that to governmental customers. Of course, at a higher price point with military-grade data links, gimbals, infrared cameras, encryption. But that's actually where the AI roadmap starts for us now. It doesn't help a customer to have a Vector or a Trinity fly for 2 hours because they don't want to look into the sky for 2 hours or wait until the system comes back to work on the data. So our goal is to enable our systems to make smart decisions in the future. So that's why we have started integration of AI features in Vector. So there will be a task-based guidance, meaning you can tell the drone to fulfill a certain task, meaning check out that area and report if it's clear of obstacles, clear of cars, clear of persons or whatever. And the Vector will just do that, come back and report clear. And the operator doesn't have to look on his or her tablet for 2 hours, which is very tiring. And so we started this roadmap this time in the governmental sector, but I'm sure we will be able to transfer some of that into the commercial sector. And so that's part of the strategy. We're on two verticals now that influence each other. Yeah? And the tremendous speed we have in the commercial sector helps us in the governmental sector, which historically is very slow. When you look at all these big defense companies, it takes forever for them to develop something. Mostly they're missing out on new technology, and by providing our systems to both customers, they profit from each other. And that's the idea behind DronePort, AI, and a focus into software. I'm pretty confident that there will be tools like integration of unmanned traffic management platforms into Trinity. There might be a connection to drone deploy. There might be a shortcut into the SRE world very soon. Sense and avoid beyond visual line of sight scenarios. So the focus is going to be on software also for the commercial segment, because obviously we figured out how to build VTOLs. We're working on predictive maintenance. That's one thing on hardware side, but the sensors are there. The aerodynamics won't change anymore. So making them smart and reliable and improve by reducing the workload for our operators. That's the roadmap. And
those will probably then be the topics for next year's Intergeo.
Yeah, for the next several years. Yes. Yeah, I think this is a roadmap or a development we just started now.
What do you think about urban air mobility and air taxis? Is that a potential road that Quantum-Systems might follow as well?
Well, some of you might know that I have a military flying background and I fly gliders as a hobby. So I think I have a pretty good understanding of what it really takes to operate a helicopter in real world conditions. And that's why I'm still very skeptical that this whole eVTOL air taxi, what's going on there right now with 100 millions of money being poured into this, if this is really coming that fast and quickly as everybody is saying. I'm very doubtful that we have air taxis flying in 2025. I believe that battery technology has to improve by at least 100 if not 200% before these scenarios become really realistic. And we are learning a lot, you know. We have several hundred, if not thousands, units flying, and you learn a lot. And this is tremendously valuable, what we learn there. It's kind of a little bit, maybe we can compare this with Tesla. We are kind of collecting data. We collect operator data. And all these VTOL companies out there now, they're developing 1 or 2 prototypes, but they have no idea of what it really means to operate a fleet of hundreds or thousands or 10,000s of units. So this could be a big plus for Quantum to either sell this knowledge or know-how to air taxi companies, or maybe if we believe the time is right and we are bored by building small mapping drones, maybe that's another challenge.
Okay.
But not the next 3 to 4 years, I would say.
For the moment you say no, but never say never.
Exactly.
Okay. So
we are watching Lilium, which are our neighbors. We are watching them very closely. And
right. So
being the second mover sometimes is the better move.
You can benefit from what other learned.
Or where they fail,
Yes. If this is not your priority for the next, let's say, 3 to 5 years, air taxis, what are your strategic priorities for the coming years?
As I said, DronePort is one. That's a lot of hardware, building this infrastructure. We might shift a little bit from being a vendor of drone hardware into a service or operator kind of model, leasing drone ports to governmental agencies, for example. So that could be a shift. But also the partnership we started with Auterion in the governmental sector is going to be game changing. We have the exclusivity agreement with Auterion to enter this world, and this world is just about to take off in the United States. The US Department of Defense has a clear roadmap saying that every small drone, whether it's on the ground, surface, underwater, surface vessels, flying robots, from now on they have to operate on a common operating system, on an open architecture software stack, which is based on the very famous Pixhawk stack, which is customized by Auterion. And to prevent a vendor lock-in, the US DoD wants open interfaces that allow them to interface payloads or data links or whatever. MEF SDK is a buzzword here. And I believe in the vision that Lawrence Meyer and his team from Auterion have there. And that's why I made that move, and I think it was a very smart move to cooperate and partner with them on this, because it will enable Quantum to enter that market, this blue US DoD architecture. And I'm very confident that other countries in the world will follow this US DoD roadmap.
So it will be a leading example.
It will be a leading example. You know, we have about 30-40 engineers here developing great features, which they do at an incredible speed, but you have that open source community that contribute to this Auterion world, the Pixhawk world, and at one point Quantum might not be able to keep up with them if they are going into AI and fleet management and predictive management and what not ever. So we made sure that if that turn needs to be taken, or we have to make that turn into that direction, we can take it. And there's no other VTOL company out there who will be able to do that but Quantum. So I think it was a smart move to partner with them. And maybe our customers, I'm not saying it will happen, but it might happen. Maybe in 2022 our customers can decide whether their Trinity flies with the Auterion software stack or it flies with the Quantum software stack. Maybe there is a reason to fly on a certain mission with an Auterion software stack, and then there's a reason to fly with a Quantum stack. And you can decide with the flick of a switch before you take off which software you want to operate today. And that's great, I think.
So on your road from a hardware manufacturer or a hardware company to a software company, maybe to a data service company, plus the drone port infrastructure that you want to set up with autonomous drones, what kind of challenges do you fear or do you see in front of you for Quantum-Systems and for the UAS industry? What are the biggest obstacles or hurdles you have to overcome in order to be successful with these?
I think as the ecosystem profits a lot from having competition, and looking at how strong DJI grew in the last year, on the one side kind of makes me feel angry or not happy, or maybe I was scared a little bit. Because they took so many other copter companies out of the race, out of the game. Of course they are building brilliant hardware, no doubt, but it's a Chinese company and there is security issues they're having, and there is companies that just don't want to, or they are not allowed to operate Chinese-made systems. And so I'm a little bit afraid that maybe they killed some of this ecosystem, and they might keep doing this, and my hope just is that the Western Hemisphere is big enough or strong enough to overcome that and offer our customers made in Germany, made in Europe, made in USA solutions, and Corona maybe is a starting point there to not always go for cheaper, but to really buy products that come with value, that come with moral standards maybe, and this could be a political discussion we are entering here now. We are happy that we are producing and developing here in Germany, and I hope that our customers value this, and I'm sure they do.
Okay, that brings me to my second last questions, talking about operating out of Germany. So you are based and located in Germany, you manufacture, develop and ship your products from here, from the headquarters out of Germany into the world. You said your staff, the people working for you, are growing in numbers. You are hiring more and more people. You grow tremendously in terms of staff. The people working here support you on your vision, on your mission to achieve your goals. For you personally, what kind of attitude or personality does it take to work here for you and to support the vision of Quantum Systems to be successful?
I think one key element to be successful is to form a great team. Only hire people that are better than you, because otherwise it just doesn't make sense to hire people that are not better than you. So always hire the best you can find. Hire different sorts of kind of people. Hire women, hire men, hire foreigners, hire locals. Look for people that I don't like talking, I like doing. Hire people that do stuff, that get things done. I love the 20-80 rule. With 20% of your work you can achieve 80%. Of course you have at one point fulfill or do the last 20% to deliver a perfect product, but as soon as it's ready to fly, go out and fly, do it. Just do it. I mean, that's the Nike slogan, but do it. Do it, make, build. Believe in yourself, think big, move fast. I mean, this sounds so stupid, but and I've read so many books, but all of these books, I must say, after running a startup for 5 years, they are true. Pretty much everything that you find in these books, all these slogans, they are true.
So, and failure is allowed and part
failure
of
is allowed, and we are very transparent with this, and we are very open with this. I mean, I think I just posted a picture a few days ago on LinkedIn where we were showing some crashes, some fails, and of course our drones fail. I mean, if they wouldn't fail, I mean, we would be there already, right? So we need to go out, we need our customers, we need our resellers to help us make these products perfect. Sometimes we ask for forgiveness, sometimes we try to fix stuff, sometimes we have to replace stuff. I'm just asking you, please follow us on this roadmap. Don't let us down, we won't let you down. What you can expect from Quantum is full transparency with everything. If we screw up, we will let you know that we screw up and we try to fix it. And that's an attitude I like, actually. Fail, learn from it, do it better next time, and at one point you will have the perfect product, and then it's time to build the next product.
I like the idea. I have one last question for you. Before we open up the panel discussion for our followers on YouTube and in the virtual booth, if you had one wish free, what would it be? And world peace was not a possible answer. Not a possible answer.
Last night I met Bülent Altan. He was one of the first hires Elon Musk hired in SpaceX. He was visiting Quantum last night, and I said to Bülent, you know what? I'm a big fan of Elon Musk, and I think Ferdi you're as well. I asked him. Or he asked me, what would you like to do, or what's something you always wanted to do, and I said, well, I would love to have dinner with Elon Musk, and he said, no, you don't want to have dinner with Elon Musk, because that dinner is over after 1 minute, and he will start you tasking with stuff, he will ask you painful questions, and he's a very inspiring person, but so that's not an option for this answer, obviously, anymore, anymore, so I have to rethink, what would I do if I had one wish. World peace is not an option. I mean, I love Quantum 100% from my heart. I wouldn't sell this company. This company will stay in Germany. I want to see this company grow and be successful. I would love to hire as many people as possible in the next years and provide them a perfect environment with a challenging job, enjoy what they do every day and be there for them if I can as an employer. And sometimes it's not easy, of course. Things go wrong, you have a bad day. I'm very ungeduldig, sorry.
Impatient.
I'm very impatient, so sometimes my employees, they feel this, and I'm not perfect CEO, of course, but deep down in my heart, I love everyone here, and I have this vision and mission, and I want to make as many of my employees happy, and and follow me on that road, on this mission to become the Europe or world leader in eVTOLs. Yeah.
And passion. You're passionate.
I'm passionate, yeah, and it takes passion, it takes fire to light a fire in your employees, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I hope that I keep this fire as long as
I'm positive about it.
Yeah, me too.
Are you ready for the questions from the audience?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Do we have questions?
Okay. So we have some questions. One is from, let's start from the last one. One is from Jovist. You can say hi to
Jovist, the most crazy Trinity pilot in the world. Hi.
Yeah. Basically, you tackled that question already to some extent, but maybe let's go into it. How can we compete with Chinese technology in the UAV market?
Good question. I mean, I tried to answer a little bit. Service, support, trying to understand what our customers need. I think DJI is a very, very big company that not necessarily understands what customers need. Their support, I've heard sucks really. So we are there for you, and this is what differentiates us from DJI, I think. And looking at their commercial grade products like the Matrice 300, or for example, they are not cheap. They're $20,000, $25,000, $30,000, and we can definitely compete in that price range. You know, if we are not building 100,000 Trinities a year, that's an area where DJI can kill you. But if they are in the commercial sector, they have the same weapons as we. And if they are building not 10,000 or 100,000, they're building at the same price point as we do. So understanding the customer, building a customer relationship with great guys, knowing them personally, I think that's what differentiates us from DJI, and can and will make us successful.
Mm-hmm.
So the next one is from Georg Hellinghausen. So
hi to South Africa.
How do you see the company changing in the next 2 years, and how do you see yourself creating that change?
Yeah, I think I also answered that already a little bit. We're working on the drone port. We are working on a version 2 Trinity. And some of my sales guys told me, don't say we are working on a Trinity version 2 because they will not buy the F90 Plus now. As I said, work has just started, and 2 years from now, so please buy F90 Plus. It will be there for the next 2 years, and we will definitely service it over a longer period. We're working on new business models. We are working, I think we just released the maintenance plan. We are working on a lot of hardware features, new sensors, but basically I think drone port, AI, smart features, small improvements that make it more reliable.
And I think we're also expanding our reseller network constantly, right?
Absolutely. I think we have 70 something resellers now.
Yeah. Presence internationally, and have a broader network where people can buy the products locally, have kind of local first level support.
And we have ramped up production a lot over the last month to reduce that backlog of orders we had. I think we had a 2 or 3 months delivery backlog, and we are there now. I mean, if you order a Trinity today, I'm not saying something wrong now, but you should get it within a few days now. Yeah? We have a stock of F90 Plus finally here. So I think that's a big plus. So new resellers, short lead times. We have a new website that will be launched a few days, I think, from now. Tomorrow. Okay, perfect. Tomorrow we launch a new website. There is a reseller login. We try to make the whole ordering process digital. No more emails. You can order online and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So work with us. Please provide support all the time. I know, Georg, you have a deep conversation going on with Flipper. Provide us feedback, request changes, bug fixes. Let us know, and we try to solve it and work on it.
One more question from Jovist. I have to rephrase it a little bit. It's about cooperation with government and about technology transfer from Quantum to the government, so that they can basically create an Indonesian quantum system drone. what's your state on the subject, or is this an option worldwide? Are we looking into that?
I mean, we have started this in India, the Make in India initiative, where our reseller in India was able to manufacture locally. And the same could be possible for Indonesia, of course. It's always a question of numbers. It doesn't make sense to transfer technology and know-how and people and put a lot of time and effort into it to make an Indonesian production running. That takes 1 or 2 years and tremendous effort. But if the Indonesian government says, hey, Quantum, that's our supplier and we have a long-term contract with them and they're willing to buy several hundred governmental units from us, Vector and Scorpion, definitely that's normal business. They want a certain percentage of the work share inside the country to educate them, to help them to do local final assembly, handling, maintenance plans. Definitely. So if there's a need, we will evaluate this, and if it makes sense for both sides, we will do it.
Okay.
One more from Georg. You mentioned it briefly. When will leasing become an option?
Okay, I think we started for this year. We have a warranty extension coming now. We will announce it on the reseller day, I think next week, where the customers and the resellers can kind of basically buy a warranty package, meaning they crash it or it fails for whatever reason, we will replace the system once or twice or whatever the customer wants per year. That's one step, and the next step probably after that will be that you buy a maintenance or service package that once a year you turn the Trinity in and we kind of refurbish it and make it new. So we replace all wear and tear parts, and we will reuse the high value parts like the autopilot or the ESC or the RTK GPS and just install it in a new airframe, or the reseller might be able to do that. And by that we also kind of pay attention to ecological topics that are moving me to some extent as well, because I would hate throwing a otherwise perfectly working Trinity away and replace it with a new one every year. So trying to reuse as many parts as possible, but replacing basically the airframe after a certain amount of hours. So that's kind of getting into you are leasing always functional Trinity, and that will come.
Okay.
So far we have 2 more questions, and one would be, as we no longer have the Tron with the LiDAR, what about Trinity with LiDAR?
Good questions. I'm also forbidden to answer it. The guys told me don't answer it. But of course I wouldn't be the COO if I wouldn't give you a little detail or hint on that. There will be a LiDAR option coming for Trinity. Wait for it. It won't be weeks or months, but it won't be years.
And the last one, we sort of tackled it, but maybe your final answer. When it comes to quantum systems, what are you most proud of?
I'm most proud of. I mean, basically every morning I take my car and drive into the garage here. I'm looking at this building, looking at all these people, makes me proud. That I've started this mission. I have hired the right people. I've formed a great team. I'm sad to lose people, but also that's sometimes natural that people leave you. Sometimes it's time to change, to do something new. I've had the same in my life, so we're not forcing anybody to stay here. We just hope that we try to create an ecosystem of values here that people stay here and like it, and that makes me proud to have this team, to have these people, knowing that I could basically ask anybody here and they would help me. And I try to be that person. Even if I sometimes have to be the CEO, I hope that everybody of my employees knows that they can call me in the middle of the night,
Yeah.
and if there's a problem,
Yeah.
I will try to. Sorry, getting emotional here. I will try to help. Yeah.
No, that's great. And I mean, you are the CEO, and I think this is not always an easy job. It's a challenging job. You carry a lot of responsibility, but I can only speak for my part. I'm proud of working here. I have a lot of fun. We have a great team, and putting this Intergeo together, having this interview with you, getting to know you better every day, it's a pleasure. It was a pleasure having you here in our studio. I think you've answered some real interesting questions, and you gave interesting insights that gave people the chance to get to know you better. And well, we will share this over our channels, and if there are no more questions, then we would close this interview for today. If you like it, we will come up with something similar very soon, I would assume. And other than that, Florian is always available anyways over our social media channels. He's very active on LinkedIn. If you have a question, you can always reach out to him, ask him directly, and I'm sure you're always happy to answer any question.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm a workaholic, so if it's late at night, ping me on LinkedIn and you will get an answer.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, and stay safe, guys out there. Hope to see you soon next year at Intergeo 2021.